What's up, ballers? We are back with another NBA Live mobile video, and today we're going to be talking about my wish list for NBA Live Mobile 18. So right now NBA Live Mobile is pretty dead. I feel like I'm making pretty good videos, but they're just not as many people are watching them because they're pretty bored with the game, and I understand that. I'm a little bit bored with the game. Even doing stuff like balling on a budget has gotten a little bit boring because there's just not really any new content in the game other than the Ultimate Legends, which I'll probably do every Saturday. So I do want to talk about what we want to see in NBA Live Mobile 18, because obviously there are a lot of things that they did well in NBA Live Mobile 17. Also a lot of things they could have done better that I'm hoping they'll do in NBA Live Mobile 18. So the first thing that I want to see in NBA Live Mobile 18 is programs where you actually need to grind it out in order to get good players. So this year we saw a lot of programs where basically you either needed coins or you needed cash in order to actually get the good players, which I don't think is the way the game should be. Obviously it makes sense if there is an option to do that, but for every single player in the program to be that way just doesn't really make any sense to me. It's completely pay to win at that point. And obviously most games are going to be pay to win to some extent, but I think whenever you make the entire program revolve around that, it kind of kills it. Definitely makes people less likely to participate. One of the things that was really awesome about the All-Star program is that there were a lot of different live events that you actually needed to grind out in order to be the first person to get those new cards. So that was one of the things I liked both about the All-Star program and the Summer Courts program. There's no way you could have gotten those really good players from the Summer Courts program unless you were going to grind or drop like $1,000 buying stuff from the store. The second thing that I want to see in NBA Live Mobile 18 is either get rid of fouls or add foul calls, because right now there's this really obnoxious thing that happens where my player goes to the basket, it's obvious that he gets fouled, and nothing is called. If you guys want to add foul calls to the game, I would not be against that. But I know there are a lot of people that are saying, no, don't add foul calls to the game because then games take even longer. I would agree with that as well. So either take away the fouls or add foul calls, because I shouldn't just be losing possessions during gameplay for no reason just because you decided you didn't really want to put foul calls into the game. The third thing I would love to see in NBA Live Mobile 18 is new dunk animations. We've pretty much had the same dunk animations. We had the same ones from soft launch up until the global launch, and then from the global launch up until now, all the animations in the game have been the same. I know that NBA Live Mobile isn't always about the gameplay. A lot of times it's more about the new cards and content being put into the game. But I think gameplay would be a lot more entertaining if they would do some things to spice it up, like add new dunk animations every once in a while. Having the same animations for an entire year definitely makes the game really boring, especially when there's only like one or two cool dunk animations. I think like the 180 dunk animation is pretty cool, and then like the Russell Westbrook style dunk is pretty cool as well. But other than that, there's not really a ton that's cool about the gameplay whenever you're doing dunks and stuff like that. And I know that's something that people really enjoy about playing basketball video games, is being able to dunk, because if you're like a short white guy like me, you will probably never be able to dunk in real life. So it's nice to live vicariously through the people that you're playing with in the game. The fourth thing I would love to see in NBA Live Mobile 18 is new special abilities. So I know we've had tons of different recommendations from people all over the community, including myself, other YouTubers like You're Fired, with different ideas for special abilities. Right now, we've got three. We've got In the Paint, which is an automatic dunk. We got Clutch Ability, which is an automatic made shot from wherever the specified area is. And then we've got Buzzer Beater, which means you automatically make the basket from anywhere on the court. Those are awesome, but I feel like there is so much more that you could do with that, so much more depth you could add to the game. Right now, I feel like it's mainly just focused on people that hit buzzer-beating shots. So Clutch Ability, last second of the game, you need a shot, they can make it. Buzzer Beater ability, same thing. In the Paint doesn't really even do that much, because most of the players with the In the Paint ability, if they're already in the paint, most likely they're going to dunk it anyway. So I would like to see things like ankle breakers, different ideas, different pass abilities, defensive abilities, because right now it's pretty much only, it's 100% offensive and it's mainly shooting. So I think it would be cool to see different kinds of special abilities put into the game, especially ones that people in the community recommend. I think it would be awesome just to see EA actually listen to the community. There are like a couple of times that that's happened throughout the NBA Live Mobile season, but for the most part, they don't really listen to that many things that we say. So I would love to see them put into action some of our ideas. The fifth thing I would love to see in the game is maintaining campus heroes and motivators and actually bring them back. Don't just bring them, put in players, and then leave them alone for the rest of the game. I feel like especially the motivator program had a lot of potential. EA kind of randomly tossed it into the game, and then we didn't see anything more from it from like the rest of the game. Literally no new motivator players added. There were other players in different programs that did similar things to the motivators, but the motivator program itself didn't really do anything, and it was one of the most expensive packs in the game if you were going to put together a pack for it. So I would love to see those programs come back and actually be useful, something that they maintain. There were like a few weeks where they kept up the Campus Heroes program, and they brought it back one time whenever they put in the Campus Legends, but for the most part, they pretty much just abandoned it after they spent like 4 or 5 weeks where they were putting in new Campus Heroes every week. They just kind of tossed it out the window for the Rising Stars program. I really like the Campus Hero program, and I'm hoping that they bring it back for NBA Live Mobile 18. The sixth thing I would like to see in the game is just fixing simple issues that we've been talking about for a long time. One thing would be backcourt. I feel like that's a super easy thing that you could fix. Literally just make it so if somebody goes backcourt when they're not supposed to, it's a turnover. Same thing for goaltending. These are rules that are well known for anybody that plays basketball all over the world, and yet you can shoot the ball, and I've literally had opponents stick their hand up through the rim and block the ball. Like, that shouldn't be an issue. Basic mechanics like that, I feel like, should be the first thing that you put into the game before you actually release it. That way, it is actually like a basketball experience and not just a super glitchy mess. Not that NBA Live Mobile is a super glitchy mess, but that's kind of the way it makes it seem whenever the players don't actually have to follow the rules of basketball. The next thing is something I've talked about before whenever we were talking about Madden Mobile. I would really love the ability to train players. That was something I thought was really cool. So not only do you have good players in the game at the beginning, but you can make them even better. I think it's a little bit frustrating to some people that the players maxed out at 99 overall this year, and in Madden Mobile, you've already got players that can be 110 overall. Now, obviously, it costs a ton. It's really hard to get them, but it's still an option, and I think that's something that's really cool, especially for people that want to grind a ton, or they want to spend money on the game, they want to buy coins, or whatever that would be. I'm really hoping that we get that ability to train players in NBA Live Mobile, because I think that would be a huge game changer. It would add a lot of depth to the game, and it would make gameplay a lot more fun, because we'd have players with these crazy good stats, even though it doesn't take you nearly as long to get them. Another thing that I've definitely seen requested a lot is box scores. So basically what I mean by that is at the end of a quarter or at the end of a game, you can actually see what your players did. Now, I know this would be tough to put in place for something like Madden Mobile because there are so many different stats. But really for NBA Live Mobile, there's not a ton that you need to do. Really, all I would request is points, assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks. And maybe turnovers if you want to see how many times a player turned it over. But really, those 5 main stats, I think, are all that you need to see in order to have like an effective box score. I think it would help YouTubers because it makes it easier to like have goals in videos, and if you don't get a certain goal, then you have to quick sell a player, give away a player, whatever it would be. I think that would be really entertaining both for YouTubers and for people that play the game regularly, just to see how good a player actually is, how effective they are, and you can kind of gauge how good they are by the stats that they can get, rather than having to keep track in your head the entire time that you're playing. I think it would also be really cool to see something like Long Shot, which they have in Madden Mobile. It's basically the story mode from Madden 18, but it's shortened so that it can fit in Madden Mobile without weighing down the game, making it too huge. But it also makes it so that there is a way that you can progress and get new players throughout the game. Obviously, there are always going to be people that grind it out really early on and get the whole thing done, but it would be really cool to have something where you can actually progress a player rather than just kind of having these players that you get, okay, you've got them, you can't do anything else with them until a new player comes in the game, and then you replace them. So there's not really any progression that you have going on. There's not any depth to the game. At least right now, you just have these players that you get, and you get the next player that comes along. But when you add things like training players and long shot, it adds a different depth to the game, so people actually get invested in the game, invested in specific players, and they want to keep improving them so that their team can get better, and they just don't have to look forward to the next new card that they're going to get every time. And then my last request for NBA Live Mobile 18 is to bring back Pro Packs and Elite Player Exchanges. Those were two of the best things, I think, in the game. They definitely need to improve the pack odds for Pro Packs because they were pretty trash toward the end of the season, but it was really cool that you had the opportunity to pull Team of the Week players out of there. There are so many different options for what you could pull, and now we've replaced it with Summer Pro Packs, which cost more than twice as much, and for people that don't buy cash or buy coins, it's really, there's not really a way to buy packs without feeling like you're really wasting your coins. So I want to have Pro Packs back, and I would also love to have the Elite Player Exchange back. That makes it so much easier for me to live stream because people would much rather watch an Elite Player Pack opening than watch me get gold after gold after gold in Summer Pro Packs where I'm pretty much just wasting my coins. I enjoy it a lot more as well because it's a lot more variety. I feel like in Pro Packs I get the same thing over and over again, and sometimes that happens with the Elite Player Exchanges. But for the most part, you get variety. There are actually pulls that you can get excited about and not just these base elites that you're like, oh, I'm kind of excited, but not really excited. So I would love to see that make a return to the game. I think if you bring back all of those things, even if you just added half of the things that I've recommended in this video, I think NBA Live Mobile 18 would be a huge success. I'm really looking forward to the game. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on the game are, and what you're looking forward to most, what your wishes are for the game, and if there's anything else that you think EA needs to add to the list of things we should have in the game. So that is going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys did enjoy. As always, make sure to drop a like down below. We're going to go for 500 likes on this video, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.